Hello, trainers. Professor Palm here. Hello, trainers. Professor Palm here. And I guess you caught me at a bad time. I'm just having a little snack. Some apples and honey. After all, research is endless, but sometimes I gotta take a break and eat something. I'm just having a little snack, and apples and honey are some of my favorites. I hope that you like these as well. I know that I myself am not the only one who enjoys honey. I'm sure that there's so many out there who like honey, especially you trainers. I know that bug-type Pokemon really enjoy honey, and there's many other Pokemon out there that like it as well. After all, when it first became a thing in the Sinnoh region, we would have to slather it on some honey trees in order to attract some very rare Pokemon. Oftentimes we'd get something really cool, but sometimes it would be a dud and something would just come and eat all of our honey, unfortunately. I know for a fact that honey is one of my favorite things. It's so good to eat and it's so addicting. Just tasting it, it's so good. I understand why so many Pokemon are attracted to this thing. I also get why Team Galactic was trying to steal it, as they were trying to get a lot of Pokemon. Well, I am against them, but I sorta can't blame them. Well, who makes such really good honey? Well, it's not us. It's made by some incredible bee Pokemon, and they are, of course, Combee and Vespa Queen. These are incredible bee Pokemon. Bees? Bees? Oh no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! I'm so sorry, trainers. I actually do have a little fear of bug-type Pokemon. I guess that's kind of why I held out on doing a bug-type episode for such a long time. I don't know, bug-type Pokemon just really freak me out. But at least Combee and Vespa Queen aren't going too wild and they're not coming to sting me. Oh boy, if we were dealing with Beedrill, that would be a much different story, especially when it Mega Evolves. For Combee and Vespa Queen, they make a lot of honey, and to be honest, the world would be so different without these Pokemon. I mean, imagine what the world would be without the sweetness of honey. We wouldn't have things like apples and honey, but we also wouldn't have anything really that good to put into our tea to sweeten it. In fact, these Pokemon have given us a sweetness that we may never have known without ever trying it. I mean, whoever was the first person to prove that a Combee and Vespa Queen's creation of honey was edible was amazing. I mean, how could we keep going on in life without such great sweetness? Sometimes bees can be very aggressive, but sometimes they can also be sweet little bumblebees. I'm really sorry, trainers. I had to say it. After all, this is a video that we're going to be talking all about bees on, but no Barry B. Benson. If you want to make any bee movie jokes, put them in the comments below. Of course, I'll respond to them. After all, who doesn't really love that movie? But to be honest, we're only going to be talking about Pokemon bees, mainly these two bees. And what else is so amazing to talk about is how much they've changed the world and what they do. After all, you're very busy as a bee when you're a Combee or a Vespa Queen. So let's talk all about this line. But before we do that, if you dig the shirt that I'm wearing, this was made by talented artist Tekranova. I want to give you a very big thanks, Tekranova. After all, you've made so many amazing shirts. And if any of you trainers like these shirts that I wear, you can buy them off Etsy like I do. I know that we're talking about Vespa Queen and Combee, but I was thinking, let's wear a shirt of a Pokemon from the Sinnoh region. And of course, the first Pokemon I could think of was my starter from back then. If you really love the Turtwig line, or you really like Chimchar or Piplup, she makes shirt designs with those Pokemon on it, very similar to this one. So please check out Tekranova and buy a shirt from her. I may not be sponsored, but of course I want to give a very talented artist like her a huge thanks and show her how amazed I am with her designs by buying and wearing shirts just like this. What? Sorry, trainers, I missed breakfast and I'm really hungry right now. I just want to finish my snack before I start doing my research again. After all of us really need to eat. And yeah, apples and honey is a good way to keep going. Well, why don't we talk all about the sweetness in our lives as well as what makes things sweet as honey. So why don't we start off with the little bumblebee, the sweet little honeybee itself, Combee! Combee the tiny bee Pokemon is based on honeycombs as well as honeybees. Combee has a gender difference, as female Combees have a red spot on their forehead, The bottom forehead, that is. If you find a Combee in the wild that has no red spot, then that means it's a male, which is a very easy gender-telling difference. Oh, and something that you should know is that if you want your Combee to evolve, it has to be a female, as males will not evolve. From birth, Combee is born a trio together, and Combee ceaselessly gather flower nectar from sunrise to sundown, just to please a Vespa Queen, and these Pokemon work so hard, they don't believe in breaks. While the three heads of Combee cooperate and get along very well with each other for the most part, there are times where they can fight. After all three of Combee's heads have 3 different brains, so yeah, sometimes they can debate on where to fly, which flowers get pollen from, as well as where to eat. But thankfully, around a Vespiquen, they always show complete cooperation and never back down. Trainers, I'm curious to know, do you really enjoy honey? Do you like eating it? Do you like opening the jar so you get Pokemon attracted to you? Do you like slathering it on the bark? Or do you really like to sell it for some good money? Any of the cases, I'm pretty sure you know that Combee produce honey, but something you may not know is that every Combee produces a different kind of honey. It could be a different color, it could be a different texture, it could be a different sweetness, it could even be a different taste. Something that you need to know is that no 2 Combee honeys are ever alike. Honey is so delicious, and a lot of other bug Pokemon think so too, as the honey is a major problem at times for Combee because other bug Pokemon smell the scent and they swoop in and steal all that honey that Combee works so hard to make. Combee are very loyal Pokemon, and not only will they never disobey an order of a Vespiquen, they will never abandon it. Also, if Vespiquen needs help, Combee will lay down their life just to protect their queen to make sure that they have not only a safe place to live in still, but also that their queen will be very happy. After all, they act as both worker bees and soldier bees. If you're fearful of bees, well, don't worry, as Combee are harmless, and they're also very friendly and easy to approach. It's them, on the other hand, that are the fearful ones. If they feel threatened or they're feeling scared, these Pokemon will fly away. Something really cute about Combee is they don't like to be alone, and they also are very scared of sleeping alone. So, when a Combee wants to sleep, a group of them, about 100 give or take, will pack closely together in a lump, and they look like a ginormous honeycomb. Combee made its anime debut in the Diamond and Pearl episode, The Grass Type is Always Greener, where they led Ash and his friends on their quest to find the enchanted honey. In the core series games, Combee has the ability Honey Gather. If you were to check after a battle, there's a little chance that a Combee will be holding honey, which is great so you don't have to keep buying honey, and you don't have to keep looking for it. When Generation 5 introduced hidden abilities, Combee also gained one, being Hustle, which acts as a double-edged sword as it boosts the attack stat but lowers the accuracy stat, which is kind of stupid for Combee, as this Pokemon doesn't learn any physical attacks as it's more of a special attacker. If you're looking to use Combee competitively, then this might not be a great Pokemon for you, as Combee has both the lowest HP stat as well as lowest base stats of all flying-type Pokemon. And in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, 3 female Combees and 2 Beedrills act as the Nectar Meadows bosses, thinking that you, your partner, and the Beedrill are all here trying to steal the honey. Combee truly is a sweet little bumblebee. Oops, I meant to say sweet little honeybee. After all, Combee makes some of the most delicious honey we will ever have. And it's really cute to look at. It's also great to know that Combee is so friendly and it also really likes to have fun. But if you're looking for a more serious bee, the ones that a lot of people fear to be on your side, well, just make sure that you have a female Combee, as only the females evolve. And let's evolve our little Combee into Vespa Queen, the queen bee herself. And has anyone ever told you, don't mess with a beehive? Well, you're gonna get stung. Vespiquen, the beehive Pokemon, is based off of queen bees and beehives. Vespiquen can only be evolved into by female Combees. After all, it is a female-only Pokemon. Vespiquen houses its entire colony within the cells of her body, and in order to keep everyone moving and doing things, Vespiquen will release different pheromones that control all of her Combee. This also assigns who's a worker bee and who's a soldier bee. Pretty interesting, I gotta say, that Vespiquen can make so many pheromones telling everybody what their job is and what they'll be doing that day. If Vespiquen was ever to be endangered, it would call out all the Combee that are living within its 6-cell honeycomb to strike back. These Combee are so loyal to Vespiquen that they will never disobey an order, and if they had to, they would sacrifice their lives just to protect their home and Vespiquen. While there could be so many Combee in the colony, there can only be one Vespiquen, and while Vespiquen gives birth to all the Combee within the cells of its body, if one of those Combee happen to be female and evolve into another Vespiquen, that one will leave the colony and start its own. While Vespiquen sends many of the soldier Combee to fight for her so she doesn't have to, Vespiquen isn't lazy. It may be the queen bee, but Vespiquen can hold her own in a fight without using her colony, and she will do anything to protect all of her Combee and even herself. If you have a sweet tooth, then you're going to be very happy to know that Vespiquen make delicious honey with its colony, and as you probably guessed, no two honeys from any colony are ever alike. Vespiquen can also be very violent, just like bees in real life, as Vespiquen does not take kindly to outsiders. If anything is trying to sneak into the hive for its honey, Vespiquen will send all of her Combee to attack it, and sometimes she does the job herself. She'll destroy whatever is trying to take the honey and eat it. Vespiquen lives by a very strict code, being stranger danger. As we know, it doesn't take too well to strangers. However, if the stranger proves themselves to Vespiquen by defending the hive, Vespiquen will repay these acts of kindness with a reward. If you protect Vespiquen, it might just give you a lot of honey to take with you. But sometimes it's been said that Vespiquen becomes so grateful that you become an honorary member of the hive, and they also like to follow you around. So how cool is that? Now you have an army with you at any time you need. Vespiquen made her anime debut in the Diamond and Pearl episode, An Angry Combee Nation, where it was a ruler of a giant colony of Combee. In the core series games, Vespiquen has the ability Pressure, which can be a double-edged sword, as this ability puts pressure on the opposing Pokemon, raising their PP usage. When Generation 5 introduced hidden abilities, Vespiquen was given the hidden ability of Unnerve, which makes the opponent Pokemon too nervous to eat berries. Vespiquen appears on Elite Four Bug-type expert Aaron's team, being his only female Pokemon, and also his second other Pokemon that originated from the Sinnoh region. Vespiquen is a Pokemon that has more signature moves than any other, as when it was first introduced, Vespiquen had 3, being Attack Order, Defend Order, and Heal Order. However, for unknown reasons, Heal Order can no longer be learned by Vespiquen from Generation 8 and onwards. And in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, a Vespiquen acts as Queen of the Nectar Meadow. She gives Badu some honey to give to her sickly mother out of the kindness of her heart, instead of making her pay for it. If you already use Combee or Vespiquen in battle, you'll know that Bug-type Pokemon aren't always the best to have, as they have a lot of weaknesses. So if you're going to use Combee or Vespiquen in battle, never use them against Pokemon that have attacks that are Flying type, Fire type, Electric type, and Ice type. While these are just ×2 weaknesses, both Vespiquen and Combee have a ×4 weakness. And that, of course, is Rock type. Yep, because Combee and Vespiquen are Bug and Flying, Rock will do ×4 damage, making it a very easy typing that you should avoid. While we saw all of the weaknesses, let's look at the strengths to make up for all of those weaknesses that both these Pokemon have. While Combee and Vespiquen, being Bug-type Pokemon, have a lot of weaknesses, with the Flying, they actually add a couple of strengths to them, and if they learn these moves, they'll be super effective on Fighting type, Dark type, Psychic type, Bug type, and Grass type. Ah, what do you know? An even 5 and 5. 5 weaknesses and 5 strengths. How nice. But being Flying type, you know that these Pokemon have an immunity. And as you all know, Flying type Pokemon are immune to ground type attacks. After all, we're flying high in the sky. So, yep, I think it's better to stay in the sky than stand on the ground. Have you ever heard the simile, busy as a bee? Well, that fits the bill perfectly for both Combee and Vespiquen, because these Pokemon do so much work, they honestly have an endless loop. While Combee does more of the work than Vespiquen, as Combee go out of the way to collect the flower nectar to make honey, as well as do the orders of the Queen, being the Attack Order, the Defend Order, as well as the Healing Order, Vespa Queen cares very deeply about everyone who lives within the hive of her. After all, neither of these Pokemon could live without one another. I think that both Vespa Queen and Combee have one of the most amazing habitats. After all, Vespa Queen is a beehive and keeps all the Combee within the cell walls of her. So, do you know what that means? Since Vespa Queen doesn't have a set place, they fly all around the world. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. After all, there's no set place that you live. Vespa Queen can either be in a meadow, a jungle, or even a forest. Anywhere where there's a lot of flowers, so she and her Combees can make a lot of honey, which sounds like a lot of fun. After all, you'll go so many places with Vespa Queen, and of course, you'll see beautiful flowers and meet so many people. I guess you could say that these bees are kind of nomads. So trainers, do you have a sweet tooth? Well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you out there do. So if you're looking for something sweet and to put a smile on your face, then get yourself some honey. Not only is it tasty, but almost everyone out there really loves honey. And I think that a lot of Pokemon do as well. After all, in the Sinnoh region, we had to put some honey on trees to attract very rare Pokemon. And it may not look like it, but both Combee and Vespa Queen have a sweet tooth, and they love honey just as much as we do. Hey, they can take it from others as, well, why could I say this any lightly? No two honeys made by any of these Pokemon are ever alike. Save the bees! I'm pretty sure that you've heard that many times, but it's not actually too far off in the world of Pokemon. We only have 3 bee Pokemon, being this line and of course Beedrill. I think that Pokemon should implement many more bees. After all, a lot of us really love the honey, so it can't possibly be only this line as well as Beedrill that makes the honey. I'm pretty sure that maybe we have another bee out there. It would also be great to get wasp Pokemon. After all, bees and wasps are cousins. Don't you think it would be great to have a region that has both bees and wasps in the future? While Combee can be very sweet, it can also get aggressive if Vespa Queen releases the right pheromones. After all, Vespa Queen is the one in charge. And yeah, Vespa Queen is oftentimes aggressive as it has a lot to do and it sends its Combees to attack. But sometimes you can catch both Combee and Vespa Queen in a very good mood. Not only do they make great honey, but sometimes these Pokemon can be just as sweet as the honey they make. Welcome back, trainers. As you can tell, I am a little bit in a bee mood as I'm drinking from my bee teacup. Well, did you learn anything new about Vespa Queen and Combee? Oh, I'm also kind of curious to ask questions to you trainers. First of all, bug-type Pokemon. Are you a fan or not a fan? Oh, and are you a fan of both Combee and Vespa Queen? Are they one of your favorite bug-type Pokemon line? Or what is your favorite bug-type Pokemon? And what's your favorite bug-type Pokemon line? Do you think that we should get more bee Pokemon in the future, or even wasp Pokemon? Also, if Combee and Vespa Queen had regional variants, what typing do you think it should be, and what kind of bees should they be? And do you ever name your Combee Berry Bee Benson, or your Beedrill, or maybe even your Vespa Queen? It's fine if you do. The Bee movie has a lot of memes, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you really like to make memes as well as jokes about that movie. Well, trainers, I hope that you answer these questions on the buzz. After all, I'm always trying to be honey with you. Oh, and I hope that I'm not bugging ya, but an answer is meant to be. Okay, I'm really sorry about all those puns. I just had to get them all out there, but yeah, I know I'm not being honey. Funny! Ugh, darn it! That was not supposed to happen, and I'm really sorry about that last one. That's my last one, I swear. Oh boy, I have made things awkward, and they really shouldn't be that way. Okay, again, I am so sorry about that. But anyway, if you liked what you saw, please leave a like. If you have any questions out there, you want to answer any of the ones I proposed, or you have an idea for a video or anything Pokemon related I should talk on, please comment. And as always, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, smash that subscribe button. I hope that you enjoyed, trainers, and thanks for watching. Palm out.